The common saying and general belief among society is that men cheat more than women, which is universally accepted by just about everyone. But what if I told you that's not actually the case? The jury's still out on if men cheat more, but one thing is for sure, and it's that women cheat better. And there's actually scientific proof behind this and for their reasoning to do so. And it's called strategic dualism, and it's also known as the dual mating hypothesis. So what is this dual mating hypothesis and where did it come from? Well, in 2000, Stephen W. Gongstead and Jeffrey A. Simpson suggested that during human evolutionary history, there were trade-offs between expending time and energy on child rearing and mating. So both men and women evolved conditional mating strategies guided by cues signaling these circumstances. Many short-term matings might be successful for some men. Others might try to find and keep a single mate, investing their effort in rearing her offspring. And recent evidence suggests that men with features signaling genetic benefits to offspring should be preferred by women as short-term mates. But there are trade-offs between a mate's genetic fitness and his willingness to help in child rearing. It is these circumstances and the cues that signal them that underlie the variation in short and long-term mating strategy between and within the sexes. So what exactly does this mean? Well, to put it simply, women have a genetic predisposition to balance the attractiveness of a man versus how reliable he will be long-term. And when we talk about attractiveness and reliability, they will differ for every woman, but there's a general guideline that we can follow. Attractiveness usually incorporates height, facial features, shoulder to waist ratio. And for anybody wondering, the ideal amount is 1.6 times, meaning your shoulders are roughly 1.6 times bigger than your waist. I want to dive into that more, but I'll do that in a later video. It also includes body fat percentage, penis size, and fun. Yes, how fun you are plays a huge part in short-term mating. And when we talk about reliability, we think about income, job stability, mate value, which mate value is a really fine line because women don't want a man that no one else wants, but they also don't want a man that everybody wants. It also includes things like family values, common beliefs, and delayed gratification. So, how exactly does this relate to female cheating? Well, have you ever heard the saying men cheat down and women cheat up? They're not talking about status or power or wealth. They're talking about pure attraction, and there's a reason for this. Men cheat down because if they could cheat up, they would typically pick that new woman over their old woman and try to start a new relationship with them. And to really put this in extreme layman's terms, if a man has a girlfriend who is seen as a 7 out of 10 and they can get with a girl who they find as a 9 out of 10, typically they will break up with their 7 out of 10 girlfriend in hopes that they can start a relationship with that 9 out of 10.
I have to go home now.
However, that rarely ever happens. So the man that is with a 7 out of 10 will typically cheat down with a girl who's 5 out of 10. Now, she traditionally won't be hotter than his girlfriend, but she might have 1 or 2 traits that she has that his girlfriend doesn't, which is why he's cheating on this girl with her. But most men would never leave a relatively happy relationship in pursuit of a less attractive girl. Hence why men cheat down. Now, for women, it's the same concept, but just the opposite. They will tend to cheat with a more attractive man, but that might be all he has to offer.
It's all making sense.
There are plenty of attractive women in the world, but finding a truly attractive man is very uncommon. And they are aware of this and they use this to their advantage.
You gotta resist. I can't. I tried. He can make you wave at me. But he's taking advantage. He can't keep staying here and not pitching in.
But that doesn't mean he's good enough to leave a safe relationship for, which is where the dual mating hypothesis comes into play. Women want a man who can both provide and who they find sexually attractive. But oftentimes it's extremely difficult to find both, since it's more difficult to force an attractive man to actually settle down with you. And a man who can provide typically got to that point to where he's able to provide because he may not have that much going for him. Men have to find ways to make themselves marketable, and this is one way of doing that. You see this all the time with the safe accountant or the safe software engineer, who you know will always be there for you and take care of you, but who probably lack bringing that spice to the relationship, which leads to why women cheat. Men cheat off of impulsivity. We're basically able to have sex our whole adult life multiple times a day. And if we really wanted to, we would never have to face the repercussions of that sex. But having sex for women just one time could mean a 9-month bodily commitment and an 18-year commitment after that. There's a lot of risk involved for women having sex, which is why women tend to choose the safer option subconsciously without even realizing it. But with that also comes that safer option probably not being as high in mate value as they would like. And when a woman feels dissatisfied in her relationship but not dissatisfied enough to leave, she'll cheat. And they'll tend to cheat with someone more attractive in hopes that they'll be impregnated by this more attractive guy, but they'll be able to keep that stability at home. And they're not even thinking about it while they're doing it. It's more of a subconscious thought that's been inside of us forever. Now, is this true for every woman? Absolutely not. I'm not even saying it's a conscious decision on women's part, but there's plenty of research on human mating that shows there is a subconscious decision that is often made, especially during ovulation, for a woman to seek a more attractive mate for reproduction. But they'll also tend to choose a more stable and reliable partner when it comes to long-term relationships. So if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like this, I ask you guys like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can see when all my uploads are. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.